Hello, welcome to Clockwise, produced by 90 Cents ICT. My name is Providence Essien and I'm your host. As usual, we discuss interesting topic on Clockwise on a weekly basis, and today will not be different. I have two guests, very important guests, and if you look with me, you will know that they are actually earning in dollar and spending in naira. These are men that are already making money from the future, and we'll be discussing a very important topic, like I said earlier, how to make money from Web3. Web3 is the future. You cannot take that away. Web3 is just the future, and the earlier you start participating, the better. No matter your skill in Web2, you just need Web3 to make more money. But you meet my guests as usual after this break. Welcome back. Like I said earlier, my guests are persons that are earning in dollar and they are spending in naira. Despite the harshness of the economy, they don't actually feel it. I believe that they've earned in dollar today because they earn on a daily basis. Let me start the introduction. First, I have on my left is the CEO, the founder of DApps. He has been here before and he spoke about Web3. I will bring him back again to give us more insight on Web3. Welcome, Edidio.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me on the Clockwise program.
I also have a co-founder of DApps, also a man that is called Asian. I don't know if you know what Asian means. Welcome, Asian.
Thank you very, very much. It's really an interesting opportunity to be here with us today. Thank you very much.
But dollar is 1.8 now, right?
Yeah.
1.8 something.
It's crazy.
It's not, no, don't say it's crazy. It's not crazy to you guys. It's not really crazy. Okay, gentlemen. Now, on this particular show, we have a culture. We allow our guests to tell us a little about themselves, despite what we've said. So we can let them tell us what they are, what they do, what they are doing. So our guests, our audience will actually know them. Let me start from the founder. Please tell us a little about yourself.
Thank you very much. So my name is Edidio Mana. I am a Web3 founder and I'm also a tech enthusiast. I love building solutions with technology and all my life has been about building solutions. I do a plethora of things which includes like technical project management and product management. But at the core of what I do is trying to see how can we use the technology we have today to solve problems in the African landscape. How can we leverage the technologies we have today to be able to create valuable impact? How can we use the technology today to make sure that we can improve lives, we can make things better without us necessarily complaining about what the government can or cannot do for the people? I've always had this resolve that if the people come together, we can build innovative solutions to change the narrative we have today. And thank God for Web3, as you rightly said. Web3 is helping to bring that impact we want to have, create that platform where we can push the initiatives we have to make society better.
Honestly, that was a very nice introduction. You've not just introduced yourself, you should introduce the stuff you're made of. I think we are going to go to that deeply.
Thank you.
Asian, tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, my name is Asian Dixinubo. I'm also a Web3 enthusiast. Most interestingly, I'm a lover of development, tech development, and advancement as well. And if there's one thing I'm most interested about is the fact that Web3 is changing lives.
Okay.
It has changed my life personally. so I'm a typical example of a Web3 changed life, and it's actually we used to say here in Nigeria very well that that we are the future. So finally, Web3 is actually making that a reality for us.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, Web3 is making that stem that yes, the youths or the young ones are the future. It's making it reality for us by giving us opportunities to leverage a whole lot of things in its platform, in its ecosystem, and that's why I'm here.
That's beautiful. I think this will be a very, very interesting conversation from what I've seen, because it's not easy to actually have men that actually earn in dollars and in naira, especially now that dollar is 1.8 something. That's good news to you. People are actually smiling. People are smiling. Okay, let me be with you, Edidio. First, let's start from the basics so that we can carry everybody along. What is Web3?
Okay, basically, Web3 is having solutions that are built without central authorities.
Okay.
All right. So Web3 is having the same internet solutions we enjoy on a day-to-day basis. And whenever I'm asked about Web3, I like to always give context from Web 1.0 so people can like clearly understand what this technology is all about, because there are a lot of myths, there are a lot of information out there that might confuse people. But when you look at Web 1.0, I like to see the web as disrupting traditional media. If you look at from the days of our forefathers, you see that people will have newspapers where if the newspaper did not print a particular copy today, there was no information that day. So the only way people could pass information was through print media, and print media, you agree with me, was like very expensive, very hard to, like, for every step in the value chain there was more cost added to it, very capital intensive. But when we had Web 1.0, the first version of the internet that allowed for people to put up just text. Let's say in the early 1980s, like to 1990s, to late 1990s, we saw only text being put up on the internet, and that way that destroyed traditional media in the sense that the cost of getting information across to people was reduced greatly. So I didn't need to pay for a particular newspaper, or maybe pay to print, or pay for a particular column. I could just put my information on the net, and then 1,000 or 100,000 or 1 million persons could see it. And then the next thing that Web 1.0 brought was search, the ability for people to search for content. So since people could now put up information, they were now able to search with Web 1.0. Then what we call Web 2.0 was basically the social web.
Was example of Web 1.0?
Yeah, Yahoo. Yeah, Yahoo and Google. Yeah, Yahoo was the first guys that did search very well. They really made Google overtook them with better solutions.
But they were also classified as Web 1.0.
Yeah, Web 1.0. And Yahoo also participated in Web 2.0 because Yahoo bought a company from Paul Graham, one of the founders of Y Combinator, a big name in the startup industry in Silicon Valley. So Paul Graham's company was called ViaWeb. So what Paul Graham built was the ability for people to be able to create e-stores, create their own stores on the web. So people could now transact via web. And one of these motivation was trying to build something we call like progressive web apps in our today's technology, where you could have updates to your application without having to update the entire software. So when Yahoo acquired ViaWeb, they were able to also play actively in Web 2.0 as well. So Web 2.0 was now the social web, the web that allowed us to interact, that allowed us now. So we saw that first, Web 1.0 destroyed traditional media by them making distribution of information easy. So Web 2.0 now allowed for people to be able to not just get fed with information, but also to contribute information. So we saw that Web 2.0 was when we had forums on Reddit, we had platforms, blogs, interactive media up and down, all over the whole place, and that changed the narrative for a lot of things. So I want also for people to understand that the evolution of the internet are very complementary. Web 3 needs Web 2, Web 2 needs Web 1. We are not trying to have a particular evolution of the web that is taking away another part. You understand? So with Web 2, we are now able to transact, do business, because you can now place an order, get that order delivered to you, and then make like payment through like designated payment channels. So Web 2 facilitated the social interaction on the web. And
can we say social media is a part example of Web 2?
Yeah. Social media is all
about
interactions. Yeah. Everything happens on the internet. First off, that's the first basis. So all of the evolutions are built on the internet. So social media is a great part of like Web 2. In fact, how Web 2 even started, having the interactions, engagement and all of that. And now Web 3 came. So what happened was, like, at the evolution of Web 2, there were some people who took initiative first to build the technologies that powered this evolution, and they had the monopoly of power, the monopoly of access to people's data, because they built technology that people began to enjoy, and people found this. One thing about this technology thing is that when technology is good enough that people tell their friends, it spreads like wildfire. It spreads like wildfire. You don't need an ad or an editorial to let you know that like why are you not using Facebook? Even peer pressure will make you use technology, because everybody's using it. It's making life easier. So you see that these guys were able to build the technology Facebook built. In fact, one of the core frameworks on the web today called React was built by Facebook, because they wanted to have interactivity, more interactivity on their platform. They had to build a technology, an entire framework of JavaScript that allowed for real-time updates. and we see that with all of these changes, with all of this advancement, the people who go forward to build the technology are in that sense owners.
Okay.
So now participants are now answerable to the owners of this platform. Participants are now liable to answer, maybe, or to be controlled by the people who own the platform. Not that I built a house, I'm your landlord. You answer to me now. If I say you don't bring two friends, you know, some landlords, they say they won't allow for a particular number. So they made the rules in that sense because they control these platforms. So the evolution of Web3 was trying to see how can we now bring access and control not to be in the hands of the giants who build the infrastructure, but the people, because at the core of everything, community is king. Like my co-founder would love to say, community is king. Community is like everything in a particular. If you don't have like just recently, I think in November or December, Mark Zuckerberg talked about the fact that during their evaluations and analysis, they saw that about 3 billion people use each of their platform daily. That is community. That's community. So Facebook is relevant. Meta as a whole is relevant, and it's because about 3 billion people use that place daily. If those 3 billion people are not there, you don't have those guys there. So see, community is everything. But this community is profiting the guys who built the technology for it, because they have the tech, they have the infrastructure, they are hosting all of these things, and it is the wonder, or I'll say a miracle, that you realize that you use Facebook, like Meta suite of tools and platforms to socially interact, and you don't have downtimes ever. You get, and but you're using these platforms for free. So it is now how these guys commercialize or make money is from the data of the individuals who use their platform. All right. So from any billions of dollars from people's data, they are able to provide advantage to companies who pay them. You know about the whole ad economy, I think the ad that really came up with the whole Web2. So privacy is not there anymore. Right? People don't have control over their own information. People don't have control.
So there's no democracy.
Yeah. In that sense. In that sense. So Web3 is trying to see how can we take power out of the hands of these guys and put it to where it belongs. The people. Give value to the people. There's so much. Okay, if you now want to ask, what is Mark Zuckerberg selling that is having billions in evaluation? So what is he really selling?
People's data.
People's data, of course. Let's not hide to that for people's data. So we see how data is like the lifeline of the internet. Every day we have countless billions of data moving around, and that's what powers the web, and that's what like makes the money moving around the web to actually move around in the real sense. So we are now saying, how can we make it so that build infrastructures that will allow that the value will not, the people will be the custodians of the value. The people will be the first partakers and the first beneficiary of the value created by their interaction or their engagement on the web. And we are seeing very massive platforms like and very amazing ideas in Web3. Channel that
will Web3 work on blockchain?
Yes, particularly the foundation of Web3 is the blockchain. The fact that you can have a transparent, a permissionless, and open and trustless system that does not need to be legislated or controlled by central authorities. All right.
Now I want us to get this straight. Will Web3 be decentralized?
Of course, Web3 will be decentralized, and Web3 is all about the concept of decentralization.
Yeah.
Okay, then how will creators make money?
Particularly, creators will even make more money in Web3, primarily because in Web2 they have to pay a huge amount to the platforms they are hosting their content on. And these platforms decide what they now. The way it even works is funny, because in Web2 you get money from these platforms and they give you a share, like this is your content, you are the one that created this is your initiative, this is your ingenious, like this is you, but you are now being paid by the platform. So they give, and they decide to cut what they cut for you. You understand? So Web3 is trying to bring value to these guys in the real sense, like this is what you're worth and this is what you get. But Web2 it is like, oh, this is what you're worth, but because you're using this platform, this is what we can give you. Alright, just manage this one first. So you see that there's a huge difference in that sense, and it's simple.
Okay, Asiana, let me say something.
Okay.
How will Web3 work? Will you need a special skill to be able to participate?
Okay, so basically, before we even go into a special skill, first of all, for Web3 to work, you need to understand what the concept is, because even with a skill, a special skill, if you come into a place where you don't understand how the system works, your skill is as useless as well. So first of all, you have to understand, okay, what is this Web3 all about? Why is this Web3 even important? Why should I leave my Web2 platforms, my Web2 ecosystem that I'm very, very used to, and come on to Web3? So when these guys start understanding the basics and knowing that, okay, fine, I need Web3 because first of all, the content I put out there or the skills I put out there, I get 100% back of everything I put in. That's first. Secondly, everything you do, everything you carry out there is very, very transparent. Okay. You cannot hide anything. Web3 is very, very interesting, and I feel like it works a whole lot because that's transparency part of it. Because in the Web2 here, or in the real world, as we would say, for example, we have issues of let's say governance and non-transparency in funds, or we don't know how much this person is getting, we don't know how much this person is taking out.
What criteria they are
but in Web3 is there. In Web3, if you have $100,000, all I just need to know the amount you have is your wallet address. I can track every single transaction you carry out from where the money is coming from to where it is headed. Every single thing there is transparent, is open. So the transparency aspect of it itself is a big factor that promotes a Web3 ecosystem. Okay. Then, particularly now, when you've understood the reason for Web3, that is when you can now be like, oh, fine, I need a skill to actually function in Web3. And most times people feel like, oh, they have to go out of their way to go and learn a different new skill and do this. No. But the interesting about Web3 is that you can actually come as you are. You can actually bring what you have to the ecosystem. There is always a niche. There is always
creators actually participate.
Yes. Content creators can particularly participate in Web3. In fact, basically, most people that participate in Web3 are content creators. The way we start out in Web3, we start out as a content creator. Why? Because every single day you need to put yourself out there. You need to let people know that this is what you do. So even if you're an artist, a music artist, or and like a painter or anything, you need to put out content there. People get to see what you do. So as a content creator, you can participate in Web3. What are you putting out? As far as what you are putting out has value, as far as what you are putting out, it's something the people need. You can actually come into Web3. You can actually start leveraging Web3. You can actually start making money from Web3. Interestingly, I was telling a friend of mine, he finished from law school, from Uni here, then went to law school and all that. And we're talking. And he was telling me, oh, he would love to come into Web3. He would want to come and learn content creation, come and learn how to make videos and stuff like that. I told him, bro, you don't even need all of those things. In the Web3 itself, also, there's legality in it. All these crypto companies that are functional, all the crypto companies that exist, they have a legal side of it. They make contracts, right? They make partnerships with people. So which people draft out those partnerships? It's not a content creator that will come and draft out partnerships, obviously.
That's right.
It's going to be someone that has legal awareness and knowledge. So when you come into Web3 and realize, okay, fine, this is what this Web3 offers. This is where I can fit in. Then you niche your particular skill you already have to that particular angle and start working towards it. A very good example, while I was in school, I was really into the whole Aluta business very, very well. Very, very well. Aluta business, meetings, campaigns, all those election campaigns, SG campaigns and stuff like that. And when I came into Web3, I realized that one of the things that helped me very, very well, okay, because some of my skill sets in the Web3 ecosystem is that, okay, I'm a community manager, that's number one. I'm also like an events lead. So I host blockchain events, crypto events for crypto companies. So one of the things that helped me very, very well in hosting these events and making these events very, very successful is the knowledge I have from mobilizing students for campaigns. The knowledge I have from gathering students as a comrade. The knowledge I have from bringing people together, putting out this information, telling them things that will interest them and make them come out for us to go and vote a particular person. That is the same knowledge I use, and I rebrand it and I use it to pull out people, to pull out audiences for Web3 events as well. So basically, having a skill set, having knowledge, a content creator, whatever it is you are, you can bring it into Web3. Web3 provides avenues for you to niche each and every skill you have down. You can niche it down. I have a friend that is an interior designer. That's what he does. So interestingly, he came into the crypto space, started creating contents and all of that. But then at some point, he started focusing on his interior designs and putting it out there. So most of the jobs he gets it from Web3 individuals. Most of the jobs he gets. So you see him, he make content, he does stuffs, because most times people feel like when you talk about Web3, it means that when you come in, all the things you've learned before, you drop it to one side and say no, that's not how it works. The fact is, you come in with what you have, and then you figure out the people that need this particular thing you have in the Web3 ecosystem, and then you take it directly to them. So the difference now between Web2 and Web3 is that I don't need to pass through Mark Zuckerberg to get to Mr. Edidion. Web3 ecosystem made it very possible that the moment I'm here, I can reach you, I can reach Mr. Edidion directly without any intermediaries. I can put out my content directly to you. I can let you see what I do. I can bring in what I do into your space, and you get to see it. So for Web3, skill sets, having a skill set is fine. Coming in with a skill set is fine. There are lots of skill sets as well to learn in the Web3 ecosystem to leverage your earnings, leverage what you do. Yeah, because when I entered, I used to do digital arts. So I figured out that Web3, blockchain, crypto has NFT arts. I did an art for a project one time, and I got paid very, very handsomely. They just called me, we need a custom art for a particular thing. And I did a custom art for them. I've gotten an NFT gig before to create a series of NFT arts for an NFT company, an NFT brand. So these are things people can do, and with the fact that we have new technologies like real world assets are coming in, so that means you can bring in a lot of things, a lot of ideas, a lot of things into the space. You can bring a lot of things into the space, and interestingly, that's what Declan is also looking at doing. We are looking at bringing in a lot of interesting things that is not just the usual. Let us bring in something that makes it more familiar for people from Web2, from Web1 and the Web3 themselves. Something they can participate in, something they can also benefit from, something they are used to, but something that makes them get better at what they do. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you're talking about Web2 and if you want to actually participate on Facebook, you have to download the Facebook app. You download the WhatsApp app, Twitter, Instagram. Now, how do you operate in Web3?
Okay, very, very good.
App?
Okay, so first of all, this is interesting. I like this because just like Edidion said, so he said all of these phases, they still interchange each other, they overlap each other. So now if you are starting out in Web3 today, there are basically some platforms you should be on. First of all, in terms of social media, the first place you're supposed to be on is Twitter. Twitter is the general ecosystem of Web3 participants. Everything happens on Twitter. Everything happens on Twitter. Every information happens on Twitter. You start from Twitter. You can get your Twitter. We have apps like Discord. We have apps like Telegram. Now
Telegram is also Web3.
Yeah, Telegram is also Web3. So now what these Web3 platforms and projects do is that they use apps like Telegram and Discord to create a community. So now if you want to belong to their community, you can come to these places to belong to them, to join in. Then now in terms of the funding aspect of it, let's say to transact, have funds and all that, that is where you have Web3 mobile apps, centralized exchanges, decentralized exchange wallets. We have like Binance, Trust Wallet, MetaMask, all those ones. Those ones are necessarily for the movement of funds and the whole fund money crypto aspect of it particularly. But when we talk about Web3 in general, we have the basic social media platforms, even Facebook. We have some crypto projects that are on Facebook. We have some Web3 projects that are on Facebook. So we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, most of them, Reddit as well. But basically, the first place you should be on is Twitter. Twitter gives you the access. Twitter opens you up to everything. Every single Web3 project, crypto project that's ever launched is live on Twitter.
Okay.
Yes, it's live on Twitter. So when you know particularly where these guys are, you go there first of all.
Okay.
When you go there, you see the informations they have, and then you start snitching down from there. You start learning a lot from there. You also get to see mentors on those platforms, people that have been in the space for a long time, and you learn every single day. Now, most of the time, what I basically do is that I just go to Twitter. I get almost all the information I need from Twitter. Apart from face-to-face conversations I get to have with my friends and mentors or at events, most of the information, most of the things we get to do to earn money, to get jobs, to get opportunities is right there on Twitter. So if anyone is starting out in Web3, in crypto, Twitter is the place to be. Twitter is the place to be. Yeah.
Okay, now you talked about you don't need to learn new skills to make money from Web3 because the idea of it is that you must earn in dollars and spend in naira. Everybody want to do the way you're doing. Earn in dollars and spend naira. Now, how do you make money from Web3?
Okay, how do I make money from Web3? I would.
You also tell me yours.
Okay, so now the interesting thing is that Web3 has. Okay, let me just use the term crypto. Crypto has a lot of money making avenues. It has lots of money making avenues. Okay. Now, first of all, you can make money by being a content creator, like we said. That's number one. You can make money by being an interacting with platforms. You can make money by trading crypto assets.
Okay.
So basically, the way I make money from crypto, first of all, where I started out from crypto, I started out as a content creator. So this is how it is. You have we hear about cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, lots of them. Now these coins, right, these assets, they belong to a particular people, they belong to a particular company, they belong to a particular brand. So now what I do basically is that I work with these brands, I work with these projects as a community manager. They have communities on Telegram, on Discord. So I help them manage their community.
The conversation on the
community. The interaction in the community. Because when you have new people coming to the community, you need to make them aware of what's going on. You need to keep them in touch with what's going on. So I make sure that the community is very well coordinated. I put in those interactions there, let the community know about the latest information that the project has, the updates that are coming, and how they can always participate in it. That's one of it. Another way I make money from the crypto space itself is through content creation. Now, in working with crypto companies, you have a program they call ambassador programs. So now these ambassador programs is when you have these crypto companies hire you to be an ambassador for them. So being an ambassador for them means that you get to represent their brand and help them create information, put out their information out there for other people to see, for your community, for your own personal community, and for the general crypto community as well to see. So people that work as ambassadors, they do stuffs like create content, they write articles, they write articles, they make videos, they make tweets as well. Now all of these things they do is niched down particularly to pass basic information about that crypto brand. For example, we have lots of coins that we see trending every single day. We come up, we say, oh, Bitcoin is trending, Ethereum is trending, this is trending, that is trending. The reason that trends is because there are people who are pushing it. The people that are hired specifically to make sure that they talk about these currencies, talk about these assets every single day. They put out those informations out there and they earn from it. That's one way. Another way, we have something that's really been interesting. It started before as airdrops, but then it developed into what we call testnets. Now the testnets aspect is this. First of all, in the Web2 world, we see something like people we call product testers.
better testers.
We have people in the Web2 world. We have product testers. Let's say a company is launching a product. Let's say if a mobile phone, and they give the mobile phone to a certain people to test this mobile phone for them, test the features, test how this mobile phone operates, give us feedback, and get paid for it. So now there are people like this on the Web3 ecosystem. That's when these crypto projects intend to come out. Let's say they have some certain features they want to bring into the Web3 ecosystem. They have some certain features they want people to participate in.
Okay.
So before they launch, before they officially come out broadly, they have people they call testers. Some of us we call them farmers, based on the fact that we leverage it most of the time. So these testers, basically what they do, most times we call them farmers, testnets, airdrop hunters and all that. But basically, these guys are actually product testers. What they do is that they use different methods or with assets to transact and carry out different activities on these project platforms, on these company platforms. They carry out transactions on their ecosystem. They do things, they do activities on their ecosystem to see how well these platforms respond.
Okay.
You know, there are sometimes when we stay, sometimes you get to use some mobile apps, and let's say, for example, you're using the mobile app and then it starts hanging, or you're using the mobile app and it starts having some issues with it. Now, all of those things are like bugs that come up. I think there was a time like that where I think WhatsApp just had an issue. It shut down for a particular period of time, and all of a sudden everybody was in panic. Everybody was in panic. Oh, what's going on? Facebook to the same thing. So now what these guys do is that they make sure that they test this platform very, very well to avoid situations like that, and to make sure that this platform is very, very excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, they make sure this platform is very, very excellent. So basically, some of the things we do in Web 2, some of the skill sets we have in Web 2 are also the same skill sets we have in Web 3. Okay. The only thing is that the terms just change. The terms just evolved. That is just it. So someone that still builds a website in the Web 2 ecosystem, a web developer, comes into Web 3, and you call him a Web 3 dev, but in the Web 2 is a normal web developer. Then, he's a Web 3 dev. Okay. A front end, back, all of those things we do, they also get it done in the Web3 ecosystem. So with all of these ways, you can make money from the Web3, and that is basically how I also make money.
I want you to tell us how you actually make money from Web3.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. Tell us. And also, what are the skills you have?
Okay. I'll share expressly about that.
Okay.
Particularly the Web3 space, I started earning from the Web3 space by just participating. Honestly, like my co-founder Asena said, by just engaging with some projects, and they have simple tasks, maybe like follow our Twitter and engage on this particular application. Maybe click this link, do this task. Simple tasks, like just the things people do when they want to chat on social media. You open the app, go to the message section, you send the message, press send, go back, go to the timeline. Those simple engagements like that was the first way I made a few couple of dollars from Web3, and I was like, wow, this thing actually works, because when something pays you, you don't need to have faith again. When something pays you, pay attention.
No more faith.
So from interacting with airdrops and testnets, I began to earn, and the next phase for me for earning actively in Web3 was trying to build solutions, because we had this, my friend.
Can you still earn through that platform, through that method you were earning before?
Like building solutions?
No, when you talk about a little tax.
Yes, of course. Like as we speak, there are a lot of projects that are on the verge of launching. They're trying to put out a product or one initiative or the other, and I need people to engage in their ecosystem. And with Web3, community is everything. So every project wants to reward and appreciate the community for participating. So you see how much they want to pay you for just being around. So for just being around Web3, you get paid.
I want you to stress that fact.
Yeah. For just being around. Just being around, bro. Just being around Web3, you are paid for just being around by engaging activities and stuff like that. And the next way I got paid in Web3 was by building a solution with my friends. When I was on the podcast last time, I talked about Fresto Tech. We tried to build P2P, what Binance is doing now. We tried to build it at our own scale. We're like, some people want to buy crypto, they cannot access crypto because if you make a transaction and you put a crypto narration in the bank,
nobody wants to respond to you.
The banks are shutting down that transaction, even if it's 1 million or 2 million, 200,000, no matter the amount, because the crypto narration is shut. So people were like, how do we access crypto? Because people were getting interested, and we tried to build a P2P platform, right, that allow people to have fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat. That's Naira to crypto. So if you need Naira, we can help you access it. If you need crypto, so we built that, and I was not sure it would be successful. It was like a big tax for me at that time. And when it actually worked, I was like, wow, we are now earning profit from arbitrage, like when the price differences, and we're able to provide value for people seamlessly. So that was another way I earned. I also earned by bringing my development skill. First up, I'm a web developer. That was like my first tech.
Oh, you're not a web developer?
No, I'm not.
More of a community manager.
Yeah, comrade.
Yes.
So as a web developer, I began offering my web development skills for Web3 platforms by helping them to build UIs, build interfaces. And also that's when I also began to explore project management, because since I began to have this understanding of how to craft Web3 solutions, it was now beyond just building web interfaces and interactive UIs. It was not like, how do you create platform solutions for people to use? So the P2P was the first thing I worked on. But I got further to work with other Web3 projects who were trying to bring their projects to the market. And anyone will admit that the African market is a huge market for any project.
You still believe that?
Yes.
Very well. It's actually the reality of it. Yes. African market is massive, very, very massive. Africans are large consumers of everything.
Yeah.
As far as this is a product, something that sells, that's
yeah, to just define it. We are just basically
consumers. That's it.
We are consumers.
We are consumers.
We are majorly consumers.
Another interesting thing about Africa does not adopt technology in minute steps. Africa take leaps. So we move from Sony Ericsson to Techno Android. You see, bam! We move from having pen pals and PO box to emails. Like we Africans really adopt technology in leaps. Like from this leap to the next. See how we are able to embrace some emerging tech. Africa is that market. So that's why the African market is very prominent. So the P2P solution was actually to try and solve problems for Africans. And now there are other blockchain projects who also needed to get their projects in front of Africans, understand how to penetrate the African market, how to build solutions that Africans will easily interact with and engage with. And that made me proud to be an African. Of all the things people say, I am proudly African, proudly Nigerian. And something happened during this time when CZ, let me just add this. During that time when we had Naira, the whole Naira thing issue with access to cashless policy and all, you saw that was one of the time that the CEO of Binance, former CEO if I may say, CZ, he posted the Nigerian flag, and a lot of people were wondering why. He brings volume to so much volume.
Yes.
Okay, he has cashed out. He cashed out from Nigeria.
He brings so much volume to the crypto market. So you see that in one of the African countries where you have Bitcoin as most search term, Nigeria is that country. So more people adopting crypto technology, it now created the demand for more solutions. So as a project manager, my skills were very much needed by some of these projects to actually get their ideas from conceptualization to reality, help them bring these ideas to life and actually penetrate the African market. And also another way I got to earn in Web3 was by writing technical documentation. I'm a technical person. I like to think about things in a very technical in fact, one of the ways I broke into tech was because I was always inquiring. When I was in secondary school, we used to have this thing where my teacher would teach us how does the refrigerator work? What is the working principle behind what is the working principle behind the iron? What is the thermodynamics behind that temperature regulator? What is the thermodynamics? So I always wanted to know what is behind this, what is power, why is it working like this? That inquisitiveness made me to explore tech, and all that also served me well in Web3. I wanted to understand what is the underlying, why is this technology working like this. I began to read blogs. I read materials and research stuff far back to the Bitcoin documentation by Satoshi himself. I was that curious. I did not want to leave no stone unturned. So that desire to know, to find out what makes things work, made me stumble on very interesting realizations, and such that we can build our ideas. So maybe prior to this time, you needed to build an idea, you needed a lot of permissions from government, or maybe no, Web3 provided that kind of that open playing field for us to come build our ideas, come together to begin to see with the advent of Bitcoin, then Ethereum. Right, Ethereum now opened the door for smart contracts. That means we can have agreement, and then we don't need a lawyer or an intermediary to see to that execution of that agreement. We can have a smart contract that runs by itself, right? Runs independently, and make sure that all the terms of agreement are met before certain conditions are allowed. All right, so that makes sure that people could now build, move to earn, learn to earn, play to earn. People could now like make agreements, or maybe bring their own ideas. That okay, if you watch this course, if you complete this course, I give you 10 USDC, right? If you do this tax and you do this tax, I give you, and until you complete that tax, right? You can't do. You understand?
I get
so
it.
That brought a lot of possibilities and opened a lot of doors for us in Web3.
Wow, that's very beautiful. And I think that this conversation will continue after this break because it's becoming more interesting.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We are still discussing with the two gentlemen that are earning in dollar and they are spending in naira. You see, the conversation becomes so interesting that they are telling us the secret of their dollar earnings. So, how does it feel to earn in dollar and spend in naira?
In one word, amazing. In one word, amazing. Literally, I always panicked about like what will be like the financial future, and what the future holds for me as a young person in Africa. I knew that I was aware about like all the limitations like you get in, and I thank God I realized some things early that made me aggressive. Like why would we have to be limited to all of these? Like that time, like far back as 2019, 2020, I realized that I could not pay for stuff with my card. I'm trying to pay for hosting. I can't spend more than $20 with a MasterCard. With a master, you have Visa. MasterCard is like, so I now asked the accounting officer, what's up? They said that from now on, so they cannot spend more than $20 at one transaction. I'm like, what? When web hosting, the list is like $50 something, $60. I can't. So with all the limitation, I was like, what is the way out? I began to search. I began to inquire.
Before you now came to the world of possibilities.
The world of possibilities. So earning in dollar for me opened a lot of doors and opened my mind to a lot of possibilities.
Do you actually keep money in naira?
No, I only spend. I
spend
naira. Keeping money in naira is not.
I like that concept of you earning from a higher currency
Yeah.
and spending a lower currency.
Yes.
How does it feel?
Okay, two ways actually. Spending in the local currency, the purchasing cost is still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the purchasing power is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Power now.
There's this confidence there. Understand? Because basically, like, coming to think of it, is really crazy what's going on now with the economy and everything. But we have that leverage with the fact that, oh fine, when they say when like it's a religious, some people say this, they say when a particular kind of thing favors you, they call it grace. so I'll just say,
okay, now you're saying it's grace.
Yes, I'm gracious. I'm very gracious.
Celebrate grace.
Yes. So it's actually interesting in terms of the purchasing power. There are a lot of things you can do, a lot of things you have access to, in terms of having to settle things, having to deal with things, because like he said, having to use your card, and you can only limit what you do to $20, and everything. And of recent, of recent, they've done something with the banking policies now that the moment dollar comes into your account, it's even hard for you to withdraw dollar physically. So the bank already gives you dollar at a particular rate.
And you don't have a choice.
And you don't have a choice to get it at that rate. So by the time you come down to local currency, it feels like the government controls how you spend your money.
Yeah.
But in US,
but I feel it's a policy in order to actually tame the economy.
For me personally, I when a policy does not do the community, the people good, I believe is a bad policy.
Yeah. True.
I believe it's a bad policy because the intentions of making policies is to make sure it's for the good of the people, right? Yeah. We said something that it's the community.
But do you know why everybody's scam? Because majority of the population, they are not earning dollar. So there will not be that outcry.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
There's a few persons that actually have.
Yes. And I'm friends that the people earning in dollars, they are just there.
You are just few.
We are just we're not talking about it.
You are just few. Yeah.
So people are most times people complain and say, this thing is like this. I will just join man and say, this thing is like this, is like this, so it's not okay. But deep down, in terms of being human, it's painful. There's this pain, but that's just how it is. We just thank God. Like I said, I'm gracious.
Yeah, since it favors you, you're gracious.
Yeah.
I want to discuss something very important. And the last time we actually were here, you talked about it, and I wanted to throw more light on it.
Okay.
You said in Web3, you still need the skills you have in Web2 to actually function in Web3.
Yeah.
Now, how do somebody migrate? How do you migrate? Do you have to migrate?
Okay. I'll shed more light on that.
Okay.
So your skills in Web2 are very, very relevant in Web3. In the sense that if you're creating content, building websites, managing projects, designing art, or maybe managing art campaigns, or maybe managing SEO for particular companies, the same way your services were needed in Web2 are the same way your services are needed in Web3. And it also helps to understand that these technologies are complementary. People see Web2 and Web3 as two distant and opposing forces. No, they are two complementary forces. And when Web3 complements it to amplify the benefits and the impact in that sense. So what you just need to do is just like relocating. Like my friends that are Japan, I have a lot of friends that are Japan already. So
you don't want to.
Of course I will want to. Of course I want to. But you see, when you're in Nigeria, you have certain traffic laws, certain way you behave, certain the way you do things, how you move around. Understand? This is the code of conduct here. But when you go to Rome, my people say you behave like the Roman. So when you just like going to a particular city, say Canada, you have to understand what are the laws here, what can you and what can you not do. When do you file your taxes? In Nigeria, you can evade tax and nobody asks any questions. You don't do that. You don't do that outside Nigeria, like in those places. Like again, you have to obey some laws. Okay. So when you come to Web3, you just have to understand what is the nuances. What is this space all about? Like Mr. Sen said, what is required here? What are the terminologies here? What is this place all about? What are they trying to achieve here? What are they trying to promote here? What are the laws of this land? You just migrated to a new place and want to move around without learning. You too suffer. You fail. So you have to understand what is happening in this space, right? What is this space all about? And then you now see, how do you now use that your skill? How can you use it here, and how can you even refine it? Web3 is a place that allows people to learn, and people are paid for learning.
That's strong.
Yes, we are paid to learn in this space. You do things you never did for the first time. You are being paid to do them because you found out, you learned on the job. One of the blessings of Web3 is allowing people to learn on the job. Anybody in this space, even Mr. San will attest to that.
Very, very
learning
true.
On the job. So that means you did not know that thing perfectly well, but you were entrusted enough with your previous and your antecedents, your previous skills. Okay, since we saw that you could do this, we believe that even if you have not done this before, with this thing with this capacity about, you can do this by actually trying, and you are being paid handsomely. So I have actually done things I have not done for the first time. All right, so I might have known how to write algorithms and APIs. I learned smart contract the same way, and I got paid very well, like to write smart contract. Wow. So you see that the same skills you brought, you not as if you will not learn and improve. You will definitely learn, improve, and refine that skill. But you are learning on the job, and you are being paid for learning and for even being around in the first place. So you see that it's beautiful in that sense, and it's very, very rewarding and impactful. I love the fact that anything I do revolves around impact. Web3 is changing lives. Web3 changed my life, changed the life of my friends, changing lives all around the whole place. Like young people cannot earn like what the government will not want to give them. So now if you're a salary earner, let's say you are a particular grade, you're earning 100k, right? 100k naira. Divide that by 1.5. Okay, maybe divide that. You see that every day the value of what you're working for is declining badly, and your purchasing power in the market is like also is crashing down. Is bad. So you see that earning in dollar and applying these skills you have will give you an edge, and then will allow you to learn. It's amazing because the community in Web3 is very receptive of newbies. Like in fact, newbies is like like Jesus will say, come to me, all ye that are here. I will give you rest. And also I told my friend sometime last, I was just pointing out some things, and I said, pardon me, this might sound religious, but let me just share. I told my friend, you see, when Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. I told my friend, Web3 was one of those truths.
It's very, very interesting. When people are making money, they are trying to relate those situations to the Bible. Yes. It's so wonderful. You understand? I can feel your joy. Now, ASEAN, now what are the challenges of Web3?
Oh, okay.
They should have challenges.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So, challenges of Web3. Challenges of Web3. We said something. First of all, we said something about transparency, right?
Yes. So
Web3 is so transparent that you can barely keep things private. So you can't have it all. You can't have this and have that at the same time. You have to have one. So the only thing is that, okay, this one makes this one a bit better. So Web3 largely takes privacy away in some certain way. That's one aspect. It also has privacy, particularly because I can literally be working here and you don't know how much and what. You don't, even if you want to carry all my phone, carry my app, I can leave my phone for you. As far as I have my seed phrase somewhere, you can actually see someone walking around and he's worth over $1 million, and he's just walking. There's that privacy there, but also there's this part of privacy it takes away in the sense that in terms of transaction, in terms of things you get to do, is very, very open. Then another challenge of Web3, particularly another challenge of Web3. I'm thinking
will be onboarding.
Yes, onboarding. In the sense that people have so gotten engrossed with the operations of Web2 that they find it difficult to migrate, to onboard.
Okay.
Now we're talking about something. We're saying having people with skills and all that on board to Web3. Now the hard thing with that is Web3 operates differently. Web3 functions very, very different. Just like he said, learning on the job. So in Web3, you don't have someone coming to sit you down and tell you, do this, do that, press this, press that.
Okay.
You don't have class of someone telling you. You learn. Like you have to actively have the desire to learn, to grow in Web3. That is how it is. So you can come into this space as a content creator. Then after 2 years, you are now
a project
manager. How do you get from that place to that place?
You learn.
It's a process of learning. Now that process of learning, that thin line there, is dependent basically on your personal efforts, on the research you make, on the information you go out there to get. I've had jobs that I've not had any inkling of how to do it before. They just say, can you do this thing? Of course I can do it. But yes, the resources are there for you to do it. But the fact is, you have to put in the work. So one of the challenges is that onboarding process. If you are not ready to onboard, if you're not like people in Africa, in Nigeria, we still have that little setback of onboarding. That's why like even with the fact that crypto has has moved in broadly in Nigeria, in Africa, we still have a long way to go. People still have a long thing to catch up on. So the onboarding process is a very big challenge, key factor in it. The onboarding process is a very big key factor in it. And then secondly, personally, I would say this one particularly for Nigeria. I don't know about other African countries. The mentality and perception people have about Web3. Web3 is not fraud.
But people feel it is fraud.
People still feel it is fraud. People feel crypto. When you talk about crypto, some people still feel it is not. It is not. It is not. Crypto is not fraud. Crypto is basically what we do. That is why we have the issues we have. That is why we have issues with the authorities having issues with young people, because they don't understand how a young boy that is 18 is making 5 times his pension. Not even his salary. Not his salary. Like, you've made 5 times someone's pension, and they don't understand it. So that's perception that we have, that this is what it is. We need to take that. We need to change that narrative, and that is why we have people hosting events. We see lots of crypto projects hosting events here in Nigeria. And that is what people are supposed to do. You go out of there, you go and listen to these events, understand how this crypto, how it works exactly, what it is about. So when that happens, it changes the narrative. When the narrative is changed, it is easy for more people to onboard, it's easy for more people to flow with it and have that synergy with it. Particularly, I remember a particular time, I think, early this year, I had some certain amount of money. So all my senior sisters, I'm the last, all my 4 senior sisters, so I sent them money early this year, and my other sister called me. I was like, Asian, how did you get such money and all of that? I smiled. Sorry, I smiled because you see that it's something that is a daily occurrence to you. It's something that is there. You also lose in Web3. That's and that. We didn't talk about the fact that you lose money.
Oh my God.
We lose money very well in Web3.
You have to be comfortable with that fact.
You see that thing? We like, you have to have that mindset. You can have it and lose it. You can have it, it's there, and you lose it. We had issues of people's wallets being hacked. Recently, last month, my wallet was hacked. Honestly. There was this airdrop coin that come out when I bought some amount of when on a Sunday. I don't know. I wish I attended church that, so maybe that's why the wallet was hacked. I didn't attend church service. So I bought the coin on that day, and then I woke up around some time at night just to check my wallet portfolio and everything. It was gone.
But don't you think that's one of the fears that people are having in Africa? Like, you can just wake up one day, do you understand, and your wallet is gone. Don't you think so? You're not things that are tangible, like, okay, my money is in Central Bank or in Zenith Bank. I can walk up to Zenith Bank any day to get my money. But I can just wake up and say my wallet is gone.
Yeah, I think so. So this thing is said, and it's because of the mentality and the way we operate here in Nigeria. Nigeria, we say we have a strong saying, seeing is believing. So
you have to touch it.
Understand? So a typical Nigerian man, he knows that if his money is in First Bank, when he wakes up, if he don't see, he will go to First Bank and go and shake and say, "Where is my?"
And if you don't see,
yes,
somebody to hold.
So there's somebody to hold and somebody to blame. So that is actually one of the things. That's one of the perceptions that is really holding us back.
Okay.
So, but with, like I said, the Web3 space is evolving, and Nigeria as well is evolving very, very fast with it. So I believe in a few years to come, we would catch up very, very well. We would have more people on board into this space, because when you understand how it works, how it operates, it is easy.
Okay. Now, your final notes.
Yeah. Okay. With regards to the challenges, like the security thing and onboarding, that's why with our project, the Clan Work, we try to see how we can create something we call walletless onboarding, where like just how you sign up with your wallet, with your email address, to maybe an e-com platform, any other platform on the internet. On the Clan Work, you can literally sign up and
without
own
a
a profile
wallet.
without a wallet, and
Okay.
all of the, everything
So
happens
okay,
under
the risks
hood.
of you having your wallet
mismanaged, is
it's
highly
not
easily
possible.
eliminated because all of
Okay.
your data is now on chain.
Yeah.
So we're able to build this with a technology called like account abstraction.
Mhm.
You see that this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this was not possible.
Mm.
But now we can leverage this technology to build because every day things are evolving in this space. So my final note would be: the world is evolving. Why wouldn't you evolve? You know, I'll leave us with this. The world is evolving. Why wouldn't you evolve? What's holding you back? What are you afraid of? Go out there and launch into the deep.
That's beautiful. Your final note.
Okay, so personally, my final note to everyone, to anyone, is that it's possible to earn in dollars
And spending naira.
and spend in naira. All you have to do is to have that strong inkling and desire to want to learn. And Web3 is a platform that gives you an avenue to learn. Web3 is the only platform that you can start with zero capital.
Zero capital.
I entered Web3 with
Fast.
just my phone and my data. In fact, data set was borrowed data. I had a friend that sent me at that time to just come online and do stuff. So Web3 is the only platform that you can start with zero capital. So if you're out there and you really want to earn, just know that you have to learn.
Yeah.
And when you learn, you would earn. That's just it.
Thank you. That's a very strong one. On that note, we've come to the end of today's episode. But please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and put on the notification bell on this channel because every week we drop amazing content. But before we go, do not forget also that the illiterate of the 21st century are those who do not go, not those who do not go to school or those who will not go to school, but they are those who refuse to evolve as the environment is evolving. See you again.